葉たち半分だけでもここならば進んでゆける突然
Honestly, if True Tears was the title of a film showing at your local theater, what are the chances you would see 18 to 30-year-old alpha males attending? Not counting men who are dragged along by their undernose emotional blackmailed by their own spouses. I should think near to none. True Tears is a highway to a chick flick territory. It's a romance drama with a little bit of crying, but that's it. True Tears is an unlikely visual novel adaptation from a virgin anime company at the time called PA Works, who demonstrate how to innovate a tried process, that is, to take the box, throw out the game, and rewrite the entire story. The name is the sole endowment remaining of its patriarch. One may think that True Tears is a harem anime, but that is a misunderstanding. Harem animes are the ones in which our main lead is surrounded by a lot of girls who are all in love with them, and the lead is not able to make up his mind because he either enjoys the situation or it's just because of pure hesitation. Now, you may think that True Tears is a harem because of all the female ganging up on him and our main protagonist, but this is what I find as an essential part in developing a true love triangle. This anime takes a rather different approach on a regular love story, and one may say that it truly brings out the realism that this is matter of fact through the careful use of wording. From this cleared slate, the writers crafted a wonderful yet simple love story. There are 3 guys and 3 girls set across 3 seasons but are confined within a small town. Shinichirou, an artist from a respected family, is our main protagonist. He's a longtime friends with Aoke and Nubu. Meanwhile, another girl from his school, Hiromi, moves in. Shinichirou meets Nao, who quickly entraps him and the viewer with her fanciful persona. No time is wasted before the high school kids start pairing up, and then drama begins in earnest while the storyline weaves a path of attraction and confusion to decisions and dilemma. While that sounds quite ordinary, PA Works got to the core on this spot on. The characters are enthralling yet cliche because they define by the issues that they are most content with. Hiromi has to deal with Shinichirou's mother's cold, uncaring attitude, Nao must recline her inner feelings and determine what it means to cry, and Shinichirou must decide which of the 2 girls he loves more. While this plot isn't exactly fully innovative, True Tears succeeds by catching the viewer's interest through the way that they frame the characters. Nao in particular is a fun watch because of her quirks, making her fresh face in a tired sea of female character archetypes. Her struggles are pretty enduring, especially when she tries to come into terms with her inner feelings for Shinichirou, and when she realizes that his feelings aren't completely aligned with hers, this is what brings the true drama. The writers did make a few mishaps along the way of some other characters. For example, Shinichirou's mother's coldness so Hiromi inexplicably melts away, and Ikiru seems to have an afterthought of being a little bit less of an impact as she had on Shinichirou in the overall storyline. They did manage to do something right with the pacing of the story well, and the judicious use of symbolism ranging from the plot of Shinichirou's picture book, which served as a parallel to the storyline to part of where Nao's finger bled, symbolizing a hurt she felt in the inside because of her glove, representing Shinichirou did not protect her from these elements. Their approach to symbolism really showed a great deal of forethought, and it succeeded admirably in complying with the storyline. But by far its greatest strength it provides is its well-scripted character events. Each character is given the fair chance throughout the show to demonstrate emotional capacity, creating depth that pushes them away from being merely cardboard cutouts that is apparent in other shows. There are a few brief moments in which I was actually feeling what they feel. Their pains became mine, and for a moment I was able to catch a glimpse into the window of their own souls. Even secondary characters had their own moments. In fact, one of the most memorable lines in True Tears for me is Jun Ishigi pondering, and I quote, "It is agonizing to no longer be able to like the things that you like," end quote. These dramatic developments are well planned and infused evenly throughout the episodes. The carrot really doesn't dangle too far from our own noses. Gradually, by the end of the show, we feel like a classmate hanging out in the back row, given a chance to see all developments in person. The animation in True Tears consists greatly on the background character's movement, the use of unconventional camera angles, the parallel Raigomaru subplot, the Japanese costume, and symbolism. It's these little things that adds toward its perfection. The art can even rival that of Kyoto animation. But as I started to study the animation as I watched, I did see some stills that did plain annoy me. I can guarantee that these were due to budget issues, and it was one of PA Works' early first ever animes, so for their early on work, they did a fantastic job. I am sad to say I can't give it a higher score due to the animation screw-ups here and there. Seriously though, I cannot stand these artistic stills, but otherwise, it did a fantastic job overall with the detail. We got some real emotional nourish out of many of the characters, notably Hiromi. Meow's voice came close to annoying me at times, but at least it wasn't that standard Mao voice either. Much of the voice acting was relatively subdued in the show, most freely of screaming and the usual historics, which is a huge plus in its favor. It was only 1 or 2 notches from the incredible realism of voice acting in The Girl Who Left Through Time or even 5 centimeters per second. As far as the sound goes, True Tears is one of the most part stylistically in line of the mood it tries to establish. Several piano themes try to hold on to a fleeting grim, yet planting resolve. The orchestra score is deep and introspective, with sometimes dissonant cellos breaking off the recurring melody in an unconventional scale as it tries to find its own path. It hits on the right notes, positively contributing to the atmosphere across several key scenes without being too intrusive or manipulative. The opening scene, typical of its genre, is much like Kido Animation's openings. Starts off very calm and kicking off to a steady beat which bellies the singer's enchanting enthusiasm, giving an impression of empty hope which works well with uneventful slice of lifes. Enjoyment is going to depend on the taste of the viewer. Even though it has a great story, art, animation, sound, and characters, it may lack something that some of us are willing to watch. And for me, I assume that's probably comedy. It causes some contentment, but it's still enjoyable to watch in a very dramatic way without regrets. Like me, I enjoy this anime very much. Thoroughly, even though it has slight dissatisfaction at the end for me, this anime is something that I find very highly underrated and it seems to be worth a watch. One of the few shows that made me actually come close to actually shedding a tear. If you enjoy romance, then don't hesitate, just watch this anime. True Tears really starts off very well, and it really shows all its promises to being a top-tier romance series. Its characters are well defined, the music does an excellent job of absorbing the audience into the series, and the visuals are beautiful and detailed. The plot is solid halfway through until its execution falters off and the series gets doused in cliche after cliche. While there is a lot of things that True Tears does right, its snooty execution towards the end almost undermines all it has set out to do early on, turning what it could have been an excellent show into one of those mere averages. So overall, for True Tears, I'm going to reward it a 7.74 out of 10 and giving it a worth a watch approval because of it being a very underrated romance anime. So anyways, this wraps up my review of True Tears. If you guys did enjoy this, of course hit that like button, it's always widely appreciated. As well, comment down below on what's your thoughts of this anime if you guys have seen it or haven't. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it. Anyways, my name is JcGreen and I'll see you guys next time on my next anime related video. Peace guys.